Imagine this, you have spent months, maybe even a years planning your big move to Australia. You have polished your resume, exceeded the English test, and even visualized your life in Sydney or Melbourne. But then rejection. Your visa application stalls not because you lack skills, but because your job is no longer wanted. Welcome to the harsh reality of 2025, where not all the professions are treated equally in Australia's skill migration system. Every year, the Australian government updated its skill occupation list to reflect changing labor market demand. These decisions are based on data, economic forecast, and industry input, yet for thousands of hopeful, they can make or break a dream. In a past pandemic world with the shifting priorities and rising domestic skill development, certain jobs that were once safe bets are now dead ends. So what are these jobs? Why they are slipping off the priority list? And more importantly, could your profession be on this downward? Whether you are a recruitment agency, an immigration consultant, or an immigration professional, planning to invest your time and money into the PR journey. Knowing which roles to avoid is just as critical as knowing which ones are in demand. In this session, we are diving into the 7 worst job for PR visa invitation in Australia for 2025. These are not just low demand roles. They are red flags that could cost you thousands in wasted efforts and years of lost opportunities. So before you apply, listen closely. This slide might be change everything. Here are the comprehensive details and 7th worst job for PR invitation in Australia 2025. Based on recent changes to skill occupation priorities, invitation ceilings and government lists, the 7th most disadvantaged occupation in 2025, sports coaches, instructors and officers. These roles have sharp cuts invitation ceilings. Number 2, architects, also removed from priorities links to longer and demand category. Number 3, plasters, similarly in the deprioritized within a general skill program ceiling. Number 4, core construction trades, plumbers, bricklayers, painters, stonemasons, roof tailors, cabinet makers, etc. were omitted from the core skill occupation list CSOL in draft. Essential trades like plumber, builders, engineers have been left off, while yoga instructor and jewelry designers are in. Number 5, excavator, bulldozer, crane operator are machinery operators not included in the priority visa list despite critical infrastructure needs. Number 6, top chefs, Italian, French. Initially excluded due to COVID-14 nationality, later clarified their standing remains certain. Number 7, brothel manager, briefly added then swiftly removed from CSOL. Demonstrate instability in list inclusion. Why these roles are at the risk. Occupation ceilings, these roles are hitting invitation limits, causing dry spells in PR pathways. CSOL priorities. Job categories like trades and construction are excluded to focus on, deemed more critical of fiddling traditional trades. Policy shifts emphasizes in shifting toward core skills, IT, specialists and away from infrastructure trade requiring mass migration. Policy vitality functions like brothel manager, inclusion removal and chef restrictions reflect unpredictable criteria. What this means for prospective applicants: delayed or denied invitation if your occupation is on this discouraged list. Additional hurdles: these professions may be redirected to consultation lists and require lobbying or a state nomination. Higher competition from domestic job markets and tightening caps. Need for extra planning, consider alternate occupations. Secure employer sponsorship or a pure state nominated pathway in a region with the skill shortages. Great question, and it's critical to start smart. Proactive steps when your occupation is on the low priority or excluded list is what an applicant should consider doing. What next? Action plan for applying to Australia. PR in 2025. Even if your job is not in demand, Number one, check if your occupation is eligible on the state or regional level. Some states territories have nomination program subclass 190491 even for lower demand occupation. Example, a plumber might not be invited through the federal system but can get nominated by South Australia or Northern Territory if there is a regional shortages. What to do? Check current. What's a state nomination list? Each state published list. Number two, pivot are closely related in demand occupation. Many applicants are skilled or qualify for similar occupation that is in demand. For example, from chef retrained to into hospitality manager or aged care, from architecture toward project manager, construction or BIM technician. What to do? See if your background overlaps with any core skill occupation list items. Number three, consider an employer sponsored pathway, subclass 186 or 482. Even if your occupation is not on the skill migration list, a sponsoring employer can bring you in a visa employer nomination scheme, especially useful for hospitality, trades, or construction. What to do? Network with the companies in Australia or work with the recruitment agents who have access to sponsoring business. Number four, improve your PR point score. Raise your competitiveness in case occupation is still borderline. Increase English test score IELTS. PT gain work experience. Pursue an Australian qualification and professional qualification, certification or NATI credential. What to do? Aim for 90 plus points if your job is low. Number 5. Look into temporary visa, first pathway to PR. Consider starting or temporary skill shortages visa subclass 482. Working holiday is a visa with a student visa. You can later apply for the PR once you are in Australia. Working and building experience. What to do? Map out to 3-year plan with a migration agent. Number 6. Consult a registered migration agent. Given the frequent length, professional advice highly recommended, especially for the occupation in the graze zone. Agents can find loopholes, recommended less competitive routes, help with documentation and faster turnaround analytical thoughts. Australia's skill migration program in 2025 revealed the strategic recalibration prioritizing critical infrastructure, healthcare, and digital competitiveness over traditional trade and the exclusion of occupations such as plasters, sports coaches, architects, and core construction trade from priority list is not a reflection of skills but rather a policy shift towards long-term economic sustainability and labor market stability. The data indicates that the rules once considered migration-friendly are now facing lower invitation ceilings, removal from one's occupation list, or ambiguous visa pathways. This demonstrates that the Australian government is fine-tuning migration to address acute national skill shortages rather than filling broad occupational gaps.